It's warming up. It's warming up. All right. I believe that we are feeding out live to the peoples of the world. Welcome back to the Who Move My Freedom podcast. Yes, that's the name of the channel. This is the number one podcast from a van. I forget to put the caveat in there. The number one podcast from a van by Hank Strange about freedom, the Second Amendment, etc. That's what you're watching. Welcome back to the show here, everyone. While I'm waiting for confirmation, make sure our audio and everything is feeding out to you guys okay. Of course, I want to remind everyone out there to go to hankstrange.com, sign up for our email list, look around the site. All the information that you're going to need is on there to get in touch with us, etc. Lots of crazy things going on these days, including we're being severely shadow banned here. So I would ask everyone to kindly share us if you can. Help us override the algorithm here by smashing those thumbs ups. Okay, it's finally Friday. Let me load my guests onto the screen here and let me smash the open. Let's do this thing.
Welcome back to the Hank Strange
All right,
situation.
boom. Welcome back to the channel, guys.
Lifestyles
Smash
of
the
a
subscribe
locked-in
button. Smash the thumbs ups. Ring the bell so you can be notified every time we go live. We are live. I hope you guys have your big girl panties on out there. The ones that are marked Friday. It doesn't matter if you had them on since last Friday. You know, you just spritz some Febreze in there. Keep on rocking. That's how we do it around here. Okay, we are live here, and you know what? This is episode 745 of the Who Move My Freedom podcast. I'm your host, Hank Strange. Our guests tonight are the Crazy Scotsman. There he goes, Crazy Scotsman's first time in here. We do this thing called jazz hands. You're going to have to do it, man. Come on, let's say it. Yeah, it can't be too macho for jazz hands. There you go. Joanna, Latina, locked and loaded, doing jazz hands. I'm doing jazz hands. You guys out there, I hope everyone out there right now is doing the jazz hands. Because it's Friday, we got a party, get it popping. I know there's, not the best news in the world going on out there, so, we have to do something to break the ice, keep it going. Joanna just popped a fresh one. What are you drinking?
I am drinking a Coke Energy.
Okay, can we see this?
Yes.
Obviously Coca-Cola is not sponsoring us or anything like that.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't like Coke, except I'm addicted to this one particular drink, so.
Okay, very nice.
It is what it is.
Very nice. And you have on, for the folks who are listening, Joanna, who is obviously a very lovely young lady, has on some kind of, is this a sunflower dress?
It's a sunflower shirt.
Am I seeing? Yeah, sunflower shirt.
Sunflowers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, it's a little bit.
I wanted to bring a little bit of flowers to the show today.
It's a little bit hippie, but in a nice way. No, it looks really nice. It looks really nice. Okay, let's go to the Crazy Scotsman. First time on the show here. What's up, man? How you doing?
It's good to be here, man. I appreciate it for sure. Armament and Axe has been bugging me about getting on here. It's just been with work schedules and everything else, trying to get it all situated. But it's a pleasure to be here, man. Sure.
Are you related in some way to Armament and Axis?
Absolutely not.
Oh, good for you. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Saving grace. No. I'm sure, actually, I know for a fact he's watching out there.
He's just a good friend. Good brother. We've met a few times, shot together.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good guy, man. And he's been a supporter of this channel, podcast, even the other stuff that I do for a long time. And he's a musician. Are you a musician of some sort?
Only with firearms.
Oh, well, hey. That's
Can you do that thing that the gun drummer guy can do? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, what is it? Is this what does the gun drummer guy do? Does he play? He plays musical notes on the steel or something, right?
Yeah, I guess he's a drummer, percussion artist. I can't remember his exact Instagram, but I guess he became viral when he did a version of like Chop Suey or something with guns and drums. So
yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. So look, I think that's a good question, Scotsman. Do you have some kind of crazy skills like that?
I do not.
Why,
I do
man?
not.
I mean, seriously.
I can rock the steel all day long, but I don't know about the drums. Not with a
Yeah.
gun anyway. I can
Yeah.
rock the drums a little bit. I did it
Okay.
a long time ago, back in the day. I
Okay.
haven't done it in many years, but I'm sure I can still do it.
Okay. Where are you based? Are you in? Armory is in Ohio. Are you?
Yeah, I'm in Ohio. I'm near Cleveland.
Okay. Okay. So you're an Ohioan. Is that how we say it? Ohioan.
Well, I guess technically I'm Ohio. I mean, I'm a Scotsman in America, and I'm an American. Thankfully, last year I
Right.
became a citizen. So
Oh, so yeah. Explain this to us then. So, are you actually from Scotland?
I am, yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Wait, where's your accent?
Yeah. Yeah. You sound like.
Everyone always asks that.
I hate to
So
say this,
moved
but you
here.
sound like a hillbilly to me. No.
I've been all over the country. So I moved here back in 2005.
Mhm.
And 2007, I ended up moving to Missouri and doing martial arts and teaching children. They couldn't understand what I was saying.
Mhm.
So I had to slow my speech down a lot. And when I did that, the accent kind of disappeared. Now, if you get me drinking, it'll come right back out. If you get me talking to my actual brother back home, it'll come right back.
Mhm.
But for the most part, I've got the hillbilly, Georgian, Southern kind of thing going on.
Hmm. Yeah, this is really. You know what? I agree with you, Joanna. Yeah, you don't really. You get. Can you? Well, I'm not gonna make you try to perform an accent on the spot here. You know, get
I
in
can do
my
an Irish one if you
get in
want.
my belly. Do you remember? Do you remember the what was the name of that character? Was Fat Bastard? Remember Fat
Yeah, fat
Bastard?
bastard.
Yeah. Oh, a wee little baby. This is a wee little baby looking delicious. That's actually. I know this sounds so ridiculous. That is actually my favorite character from the Austin Powers. I'm serious. You know,
Yeah.
and I think he was like, who was it? There was one of the ladies in the Austin Power movie that he got busy with. I'm just trying to. I can't remember, but it was one of. It wasn't. I don't think it was Beyonce. It was one of the other. There's three of them, so each one had a different. Had a different lady in there. I think it was the British chick. Man, I forgot her name now. Someone out there will tell me. Okay, so we'll try to. I'll try to see. I don't know, Joanna, if you could do a Scottish accent so we can get him back. You can
I'm
just.
pretty sure it's pretty bad.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, if you want to spit it out a little bit, no
I don't want to
pressure.
offend him.
No pressure. Are you
But
easily
I totally
offended?
see how
Yeah.
that's. I can see how that's totally possible. I'm a New Yorker originally. I grew up there and moved to Florida, South Florida, when I was 17.
Mm-hmm.
And I hail from Long Island. So somehow over the course
Yeah.
of many years, I've completely lost my New York accent. So for the better. So, but no one out there is going to be like sad that I lost my New York accent. It's like a good thing. Whereas a Scottish accent is like a conversation piece. It's really cool. I'm sure the ladies like it, right? So I don't know. I don't know if I'd lose that on purpose.
Yeah. The ladies like it maybe like coming from Sean Connery. You better be careful there, you get smacked the bottom. I don't know if that was that good. I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie, man, that was terrible.
Yeah, it's not as roguish as it really needs to be. Anna Lee Brown says Elizabeth Hurley.
Wait,
guys-
wasn't that one of the earlier Austin Powers?
I think that was was Fat Bastard in the first one?
I don't think so. It was one of the later ones. I thought it was Heather Graham.
Maybe it was Heather Graham. It's probably Heather Graham. Yeah, because it was Elizabeth Hurley, Heather Graham, and Beyonce. So there you go. Dan Hates You says Pookie Love. I don't know what Pookie. Richard Hughes says I Slip. What part of Long Island were you from?
I Slip.
I Slip.
I
There
don't
you
know.
go.
Maybe I know Richard Hughes. I don't know.
Oh, hopefully good. Hopefully for you, you don't know Richard Hughes. That's the best thing in the world that you don't know Richard Hughes. Okay, so came to America. So you came to America in 2005, you said?
Yeah, November 2005.
So how old were you when you came to America?
21. 21.
21. Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. And what did you come to, like, how did you wind up over here?
Um, I mean, the easiest way I can put it is just a crazy decision. Just wanted something different and
Mm-hmm.
slapped it on a credit card, jumped on a plane, and said, screw it.
Oh, okay.
And then just fought for everything I've got right now.
Okay.
You know, did whatever odd jobs I had to do to pay for the paperwork fees and all of that and do it right.
Oh, okay. So you, like, did you come on a visa and overstay it or something like that? And
Yeah, temporary work visa.
okay, I know how that is. That's what my family did. That's how we got here.
So, yep,
Yeah,
temporary work visa, and then just keep paying the fees and
Mm-hmm.
doing the paperwork. And
Mm-hmm. Did you have to
So
get married? Go ahead.
where are you now on that process? Are you done now? Are you?
yeah, I became a citizen last year.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations on that. Awesome. Did you have a party when you became a citizen?
Oh yeah, on the shooting range, of course.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, cool. Listen, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get into more stuff here. I know I skipped out a bunch of things. Big shout out to Harry's Holsters. If you guys look down there, you'll see Harry's Holsters. They sponsor the show. Harry's Holsters makes Kydex, awesome Kydex holsters. You guys can use the code Hank Strange, get yourself 10% off over at Harry's Holsters. Please do that. Help if you're looking for Kydex. So there's a couple of things, right? It's Friday. There's a whole bunch of different things going on, and I did want to, like, intro the audience to you if they haven't met you. Obviously they've met Joanna. If you haven't met Joanna, you need to go follow Latina Locked and Loaded. You guys need to go out there and follow the Crazy Scotsman on YouTube. I'm going to pull up the channel so you guys can see what it looks like, and let's see if we can do that here so we can show the channel. Boom, there you go. It's the Crazy Scotsman. Is there a special way you spell it? Is one of the T's missing or something?
No, there's only one T.
Oh, there's
Everyone
only...
else confuses. Everyone else confuses that and always puts two T's.
Yeah, I think, yeah, see, but and then also if you just search YouTube for the Crazy Scotsman, there's actually some crazy Scottish guy out there, but that's not you, right?
No, that's not me.
No, that's not you. So you'll see this coat of arms. I don't know if that's your actual coat of arms or not, but you guys should go there and subscribe to the channel. If you're looking for Latino Locked and Loaded, you can find them on Locked and Loaded Latinos on the YouTube. There you go. That's their thing, so that's how you find them. By the way, Babyface thought that because we changed the name of this channel was actually Lifestyles of the Locked and Loaded, and Lola and I changed it recently to the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. We did it to simplify everything, but we're still gonna keep Lifestyles of the Locked and Loaded as, like, as a hood name for the channel. So Lotlow will still be out there. So Locked and Loaded Latinos is the channel if you're looking for the podcast with Joanna and Rolando in there. So a couple of things I want to get to before we really jump in here. Smash the thumbs ups, everyone that's out there. Smash those thumbs ups. Help us out here with the algorithm, all that kind of stuff. So in the bad news category, DMX passed. I know he's been in the hospital for at least the last week, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And he passed here. So yeah, DMX, man. That's a tough one. It's gonna take me some time to really
Recover from that one.
Yeah, I mean, DMX is the sound. His music is the soundtrack to my youth. I think he was 49 years old, and we're pretty much like in the same age category. And I just grew up listening to DMX, man. He was like
Did Hank get kicked out?
Oh, wait, am I kicked out? I thought I was still here. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. No, I'm still here. Yeah. DMX was like, to me, he's one of the realest rappers that ever existed. one of the realest rappers, and he did more than just rap. Like, he became an actor. He was a very magnetic person. His music was like undeniable. The sound of his voice and all that kind of stuff, and the kind of beats and everything that he did his music over, and the content, the lyrical content, and the way that it moved you. That kind of stuff will never leave us. He'll live forever. But in my estimation of all the awesome rappers that are out there in the world, like DMX, man, he's not even top 5 for me. He's got to be like top 3 if you're talking about rappers out there. So it's unfortunate that he passed. It's sad to hear that. It's tough. It's a tough deal that, at 50 years old, he still had a tough time getting over his addictions and things like that. I think he had a really crazy life, and wasn't able to completely climb out of that hole, right? So I don't know if anyone else here is into DMX, but rest in peace, DMX. Gotta say that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. His music is to this day on my running playlist. Like, that's just, I was a big fan of his, and I liked his movies. I'm a big fan of, Romeo Must Die and all those movies. So
yeah,
I like, shoot 'em up action flick. So
yeah. I mean, DMX, man, like, we're talking about making fun of people. I like the way that the DMX talks. You know what I'm saying, dog? It was just so, like, you could see, what was the movie that DMX did with Steven Seagal? What was that?
I don't know.
Someone will tell us here. He did a movie. Do you remember that movie he did with Steven Seagal? I'm pretty sure.
Exit Wounds?
Was it Exit Wounds? I think so. It was there was a movie he did with, I think, it was Steven Seagal, and DMX was a hacker. But listen, really, I enjoyed looking at DMX movies and stuff like that. I don't know if you're a younger person than I am, obviously, Scotsman. I don't know if you were into DMX or if you're into hip hop at all, man.
Long time ago. I haven't really done anything in the last probably 10 years or so. I haven't really listened to a whole lot.
What are you listening to? Bluegrass over there in Ohio now?
No, man, I'm more heavy metal, rock, classic rock, that type of thing.
All right. I see. I got it. Razor JB says, "Holy crap, Scotsman's got more beard than Joe has hair."
I don't know about that. My hair's getting pretty long.
Not really. Yeah, I know. Not really. Yeah, she's got, that hair, but damn, yeah, he's got the beard going for reals.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go for like a Duck Dynasty, like full blown, like as far as you can go?
Yeah, it just keeps going. Yeah, I'm not stopping.
How old are you?
I'll be 37 next month.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. There you go. Let's see here. LV Louis Cypher says, "What did DMX pass from, especially at a young age?"
They did say they haven't confirmed the overdose, but it's well known that it's an overdose. And
he had a heart attack.
He had a heart attack, and by the time the EMTs got there, he was already not breathing, and then they resuscitated him for like about 30 minutes. But by that point, his organs and his brain had been oxygen deprived for so long, they were able to revive him in a coma state. And then by the time he was in the hospital, it was just not. It was a losing battle, and finally just died of multiple organ failure.
Yeah. So people are asking about the movies here. I'm gonna let me go through now. If you look at IMDb, he's on a ton of movies in the soundtrack. But if you want to look at the movies that he was actually, there's a ton of movies that he was in here under like soundtrack and stuff like that. But he was in Exit Wounds, he was in Cradle to the Grave, Romeo Must Die. Probably one of the, like, soundtrack wise, he was in Deadpool, and I think he was in Deadpool too. I mean, because you always you hear DMX in a lot of, he was in Deadpool 2 also. You hear DMX in or his music in a lot of movies when they want to get the audience amped up. So I think the movie that we're talking about is I think that movie is I think it is Exit. Maybe it's Exit Wounds. I'm trying to.
Yeah, the chat said it was Exit Wounds.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Exit Wounds. Yeah. So, anyway, that's a tough deal, man. It's a tough deal out there. He was genuinely like one of those people that was really batshit crazy. I never ever met him, but first of all, he was a diehard dog guy. So I don't know whether or not the folks out there are into pets or let's say dog people, but there's dog guys who literally will lie down on the same how can you say it, like in the same den with their dogs. Like I had a friend that was a dog guy, and him and his dogs would all sleep on the floor.
Apparently, he got arrested in the 80s for stealing a dog.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He has, if you've ever seen anything from DMX, where you can see he's got a big, massive tattoo on his back, that's for his dog. That's for his, like, his dog that he had that passed and all that kind of stuff. So he was, I think he just grew up as a kid where life was tough, and his mom and his mom's boyfriends and stuff like that would beat him up a lot. So he would spend a lot of time hanging out in the streets, hanging out with stray dogs, and I think it's almost like he was raised. Like, you ever saw the things where they talk about a kid raised by wolves? I think he was, he had that kind of like raised by dogs kind of thing going. So anyway. Brick says DMX was an underrated lyricist, and I agree with that. Gorillas and Guns says metal, so there you go. You got some people for the metal in here. What kind of metal do you listen to? Do you have...
I grew up with Iron Maiden,
okay,
that type of thing. Judas Priest. Heck, the one time I went.
That's old school.
Yeah, the old school stuff. One time when I went to one Judas Priest concert, I had my buddy shave the actual Devil's Tuning Fork in the back of my head just for the concert. It was pretty cool.
Okay. All right. Okay. Interesting. Go ahead.
Have you ever listened to Japanese metal?
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Yeah.
I was pretty sure she was going to ask you if you ever listened to K-metal.
I
like
don't know
K-pop?
if K-metal exists. I know Japan actually has some pretty amazing, epic metal bands.
So J-metal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what is Japan metal called? Is there a specific is it called is it like Bushido metal or samurai metal or something like that?
I'm pretty sure it's just called Japanese metal.
Oh.
Yeah, I think so.
But they have they have traditional stuff, and they have like crazy stuff the lead singers will all be like little girls. It's pretty crazy. Have you ever heard of baby metal?
No,
baby metal?
It's like three little girls in this like epic metal band.
What is up with your musical choices?
Wait. See, someone in the chat said it. Jade Grew just said, check out baby metal. See, I'm telling you, Gorillas and Gun, baby metal is cool Japanese metal band. See?
Wow.
Now you have to check it out.
Yeah. Not really, but okay. Let me tell you, the Japanese, when they get into things, they're pretty. I mean, they're craftsmen. They're like, when they get into something, man. I've seen like Japanese people getting into reggae, for example. No joke. Anything that they get into, they are straight up serious.
They are dedicated to what they do.
Yeah.
I've actually heard Japanese salsa. That is pretty good, like quality.
Yeah. Can you imagine if the Japanese were like? I wonder if they still make any kind of guns other than airsoft. I know they're like they don't really have any firearms manufacturing anymore, right? The Japanese.
I haven't seen a whole lot from them in the last It's been a long time. Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
seen a whole lot from them.
Yeah, I'm guessing that a lot of their actual firearms manufacturing stuff stopped at the end of World War II or something like that. But can you imagine if the Japanese we'd be having some badass Japanese-made guns, man? Right? That would be pretty sick, you know. So Brick says these kids today shake my head. So there you go. Puerto Rican Pistolero says Baby Metal was viral on YouTube a few years ago. Huh. Okay. And 3 says Baby Metal sucks. So there you go. 1. No, I like listen, I like all kinds of music, okay? All kinds of music. And Eric Hammond says they make Hawa. Really? Okay. And 3, I'm guessing it's 3, right? Am I reading that right? Yeah, I'm guessing it's 3. It says Anthem is another good Japanese power metal band. There you go. And Night Train says, yes, I've heard that Japanese salsa group on YouTube, and they are pretty darn good. Yeah. Captain.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Brownings. There are some Brownings that were Japanese as well.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how many are still out there, but
Yeah. So Puerto Rican Pistolero says Hawa Type 89. Hawa Type 89. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up. Hawa Type 89. Let's see if we can get a look at that here. Type 89. Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's a Japanese assault rifle kind of deal. Let's see. I don't know if you guys can see it there. I can't share my phone for some crazy reason. So there you go. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. And let's see. Dan Hates You says they make a rifle for their self-defense force. It's an FNC copy. And Eric Hammond says they make some Winchester models too. Interesting. Interesting. And 3 wants everyone says don't bother with Baby Metal. Look up what is this? Galnarius Angel of Salvation Live? What the heck?
I will check them out. I'll see if I can add it to my running playlist.
And Gorillas and Guns says Miroku Corporation is still a Japanese firearms manufacturer. And Brian Quick says Brownings were made in Japan as well. And yeah, and Len Holt is chiming in. Winchester has some firearms produced there. Cool. Awesome. Okay, so listen. Let's see. What do you guys? I mean, it's Friday. Is there anything that you guys want to talk about, Crazy Scotsman? You know, when you're in the chat, man, you're always on fire. You're always on fire. You seem kind of demure for a Scottish dude here.
Well, I gotta go to work tonight, so I'm not drinking, so I'm a little more leveled out.
Oh no, it's Friday. Come on now. Just pretend. Just start rocking out to into some heavy metal in your head and get it pumping here. Let's go.
my biggest thing right now, guys, is just honestly, you got to fight for your rights. We are literally under one of the biggest attacks when it comes to your rights, and it's not just the Second Amendment; it's every amendment. The whole Constitution is under fire right now. We have an administration, and I'm not going to call him president by any means of the matter, but we have an administration that is just trying to tear up the Constitution piece by piece by piece. And my biggest thing with that is simply this: I didn't swear an oath to a man. I swore an oath to the country and the Constitution. Stand up for what it is. Don't stand up for a man. Stand up for what you swore to.
Okay, I would agree with the sentiment of what you're saying here. Yeah, what do you think about that, Joanna? I know you're probably fired up. I'm sure on Sunday you'll have some things you guys want to talk about, but go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. Obviously, we're talking about what Biden came out and said, his executive orders. I was pretty upset. I mean, it felt like the energy that came off of it was that of a dictator. I mean, executive orders themselves, I don't feel like when I said this in my my Instagram post today when I was learning as a little kid from Schoolhouse Rock, and they had the video on the 3 branches of the government. Pretty sure executive orders weren't in there. Pretty sure that's not something that should happen. And it's basically just stomping on the Constitution, and him saying something like, I forgot the exact wordage that he used, but he said that amendments aren't
they're not absolute.
Yeah, they're not absolute.
And they're, you know, I mean, that's literally the backbone of the government of this country. How dare you say, well, we can change that? And I think didn't Kamala say that at some point during like the primaries or something like that? I think she insinuated a similar thing. So I find that attitude.
They're definitely trying to sell that to people in America, that you could. I don't know if was that the biggest sticking point for you guys, because I mean that was early in Biden's speech. You know, where he said,
I have a lot of problems with what
he said like, no amendment is absolute. What the hell? Like, what?
Well, I mean, let's think about it. The guy can't get a full sentence out without screwing something up anyway. So what can you really take from this guy? We all know he's a puppet. We all know there's people pulling the strings behind him.
Yeah, he's a Muppet, even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a worse definition for that one.
He's constantly having calls with Obama. So is Obama pulling the strings? Who's pulling the strings? We know someone is.
Yeah. Here's what he said, because I remember yesterday I had made a thing about it. He says no amendment to the Constitution is absolute. So he said it twice. No amendment to the Constitution is absolute.
That should terrify people.
Everyone, yeah, even folks that want to take away the guns, even the gun grabbers, the anti-gun folks out there should be worried about that, because it's what we've been saying. Like, if they actually get away with this, then what? What's next? You think they're gonna go, oh, we've solved all of humanity's problems right here. We're done. Well,
also, it's like, think about if you're putting it out there, you're making that precedent of no amendment is absolute, then what's protecting our First Amendment? What's
protecting anything in there? None of those things you're saying is absolute. I mean, look, let's talk about what about what was it, the 13th? Was it the 13th dealt with slavery? What, is that not absolute?
Yep.
Don't have to worry about that.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah. It is.
Then the 3 parts that he proposed, the national red flag laws. I mean, that literally goes against process. So that whole, like, are we just gonna? He's just crapping on top of the entire, like, we're getting rid of the Constitution. That's out the window. We're getting rid of how we do things in this country with, innocent until proven guilty. We're just gonna take your guns and. Just because someone said, oh, you're scary. And then the gas that they say that suicides are decreasing in states that have red flag laws. Cam Edwards came out with an article on Bearing Arms a couple years ago that showed that was actually a lie, because red flag law states, that statistic is true, but for firearm related suicides, in those states, it was Indiana and Connecticut that those statistics come from, that firearm-related deaths are down in those states since they began their red flag laws. But the truth is that overall, suicide is up in those states, just not firearm-related suicides. So clearly, this isn't solving the problem. People are still killing themselves. So they're more fixated on, they should be more concerned with fixing suicide, not using a problem that we have in this country with mental health to masquerade, to hide the fact that they're using it for gun control.
Yeah, the method or the tool doesn't matter. Go ahead, Scotsman. Sorry.
I can talk to this from the point of, they took our guns back home back in the early 90s. There was a school shooting, and overnight they came in and took all the guns. It doesn't solve anything. I've said it for many, many years, over and over. We use knives, beer bottles, whatever they can get their hands on, they're still going to commit the crime.
Well, I mean, remember the a couple of days ago we had, or I don't know, it was like 3 or 4 days ago, there was that incident in the Capitol where somebody used the car to ram people. Um, what did the politicians say? I forgot who it was. It was like Ilham Omar. Didn't she tweet something about how, oh, imagine if that person had had access to guns? It's like,
Hopefully, we're coming back to the people. I don't know. Are we still out there? I hope so. I hope so. Let us know if we're feeding back out. Yeah, man.
it's working.
Yeah, looks like it is. Looks like it is. My apologies on that. I don't know what's going on with the software. I'm gonna have to take some time here and try to figure out, do we need a different software or what exactly is happening to everything here. But yeah, I feel like we're back. I feel like we're back. If you guys are coming back in, smash the thumbs ups. Let everyone know that we're back here. Where were we before we got cut off? I know you guys were getting heated up about something, so it was a perfect time to cut everything off.
Crazy Scotsman, you were just talking about the opioid crisis.
Yeah, I was just talking about that and how that's that's a bigger issue than firearms by any means of the matter, you know. But again, everything comes down to money and power, and there's so much money in it, they don't care. If they can make money, they're going to keep on doing it.
Yeah.
Well, they actually, I think they went after like the main company. I don't know who it was, but there was one small pharmaceutical company that was responsible for most of the. I don't know if it was like the original Vicodin or the original Percocet, but it was like a family-owned company, and they got sued by the families of people who were the original, like one of the first wave of people who had opioid addictions, and they took out the pharmaceutical company, but the people responsible, like that didn't really solve any of like the issues first off, and then the people responsible who did know about opioids being addictive, it's not like they went to jail, and they just hid their assets elsewhere, so nothing was really solved. The evil people behind it all didn't suffer. So
No, not at all. And like, I got one friend down couple hours from me, veteran, goes to the VA, and he tells us specifically he doesn't want any kind of opioid, whatever. And what they end up doing, they end up giving him one anyway, and not telling him and lying to him that they gave him something else. And he figured it out after the first couple doses of it, but they don't care. Whatever makes them money is all they care about.
I think this is the number one way to control people. It's been around for a long time, right? Drugs have been around for a long time. You have people addicted. Wait, what happened there? There we go. Got the crazy Scotsman back in. All right, yeah, this software is acting a little crazy. Yeah, you get people addicted to it. They absolutely need it, You've got them under your control. Okay, it's still I don't know why. Why is it kicking you out, Crazy Scotsman? Okay, there you go. I'll leave you two in there for now. But yeah, without a doubt, this is, I don't really, here's the thing. I don't really think they're interested in solving people's problems.
No, they're not. I mean, look, all right, so this is one thing. We were talking about the administration here a little bit ago, but the 9 worst words you can ever hear came out of Kamala Harris's mouth not too long ago. We're here to help. The government is not here to help. You make your own help. You help yourself. You fight for what you want, and you help yourself. You're not going to get anywhere by relying on the government. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, the government definitely cannot solve your problems. There was a couple things. One, you mentioned, what happened in the UK in terms of them banning firearms over there. And that's one discussion to have, I think, and to go a little deeper on. But even suicide, we're talking about suicide in a place like Japan that we were talking about in the beginning of this thing. It's incredibly, incredibly difficult to have guns. Lots of suicide going on over there. They have suicide forests, right?
Yeah,
that suicide is such a thing over there. So what up with that, though?
Exactly. It's not an issue of firearms causing or making it easier. I mean, I guess it could be easy, but it's not going to stop someone who's determined. it's clearly a bigger issue, and I think it makes them feel like they're doing something, or at least, giving themselves a pat on the back like they're doing something, when the real issue is that in America we don't have any, or it's very difficult to get access to mental health help. For instance, like most insurance, it doesn't have psychological help or psychological therapy as part of your main insurance. It's actually a separate one. And usually the coverage is terrible. I've had people tell me, I had someone tell me they had to make a decision whether to buy groceries one week or take their kid who's got bipolar to therapy. And that's pretty messed up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's one thing, right? That's the big trap right there, that all of these things are incredibly expensive and then incredibly addictive. A lot of times, especially with psychotropic stuff, you see people, you have basically, this is how this works out. You start taking a medication. For some reason, this thing will not let, it won't let Scotsman stay in there. So I don't know why it keeps dropping out. But anyway, you get on one medication, right? Then eventually you have to get on another medication for the reaction, right, that you're having, or the side effects of the first medication. So now you're taking a second one. Then that second one is giving you side effects. So then you're on a third one. And the next thing you know, you're on a cocktail of drugs just to function. And it's taking over your whole entire life. And has you really crazy. A lot of these things have problems that they haven't even taken any kind of time to figure out how it's affecting individuals. So
yeah, and that's the thing, it's constantly one after the other until you are literally just a drugged out, sitting in your chair, going out of your mind, not knowing what to do.
Why would they be trying to make the world like that? With all the people on the face of the planet, why are they trying to make us all into zombies? What do you think?
Well, that's the thing. What are they going to do with ultimate control? If they get ultimate control, what are they actually going to do? What's going to be different? Other than us not having firearms, which never going to happen. But, what would actually be different?
I feel like the goal is to end up like China. I feel like the elites would want to, and I think that's why a lot of them are in bed with China. I feel like a lot of people in power and in government think that's great. Ultimate control of everyone. Everyone's easy to control. Squashing original thought. I mean, that's what ultimately, isn't that just the innate human nature to desire power and control?
Yeah. So, but
boils down to human nature.
So how is China different from America, and how are they trying to push people in that direction? What's the benefit of it? That's kind of, I'm just wondering there. How is that a better situation for people to be in? How long do people function like that? How long do people function in China, where they're building all these massive cities, but people can't afford to live in it, and there's all these draconian controls on the people, and the government can do whatever it wants to the people? How long does that go before people go, oh no, that's it, we're coming in here, we're going to be kicking asses now? So that's my question on that.
Well, I mean, clearly, I don't think that anyone in China is going to be kicking asses, like you said. I think they're too far gone. I mean, you read books like 1984, and it's pretty much the same exact tactics. I just think they're brainwashed, and their god is country, and that's it. All they do is work to serve the country. So
yeah,
there's no threat of original thought.
Yeah, but how long is that sustainable? How long can you maintain that with the people? Okay, so the people don't have good access to the Second Amendment.
Think that at some point China's the Chinese people would revolt against
I'm
the
just
Communist Party?
I'm just wondering at like what point does it last? Like I agree with you that this is the direction they're pushing everyone in, but how does that how do they win doing that, right? How do they actually win doing that? They can only what's happening in China right now can only keep going for so long that they can control the people. When you have a few people leading most of the people, even if the people can't have guns, at some point the people outnumber you. You know, it's just what level of anger do they get to? And maybe this is the point to keep people drugged up, right? To keep people in a vegetative state. But then what's the point of it? Unless, unless it's like the Matrix where the people are just batteries for something. What's the point?
Exactly where I was going to go with it. We're literally, they're just trying to make you a human battery.
Mm-hmm.
Where you just literally work for the state. That's it. You know?
Yeah.
But again, it's really not productive in any way, shape, or form, no matter what way you look at it. Even if we're just constantly giving them money, it still doesn't have any really productive matter whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, and then my thing about that is that I agree, this is kind of the direction everyone's going. But you can't, in a communist situation where you're saying everyone has the same thing, people who don't want to work, they don't have to work, everyone has the same stuff, you can do whatever you want to do.
But that's not true. People aren't allowed to not work. They have slave labor and they have this social credit system. You can't just be a lazy schmuck. Like, you will literally be thrown in jail or killed if you're an unproductive member of society.
Yeah, K&M Arms says China's been doing it for a long time. Will never change. For sure, they've been doing it for a long time. I mean, if you go back to the Great Wall, they literally buried the people building these walls under the walls. If you just think about that, right? They literally buried these folks under the walls.
But to your point, I mean, go back through history. How many times has nations risen up against their governments? Tons, absolute tons. And at some point in time, it's a good possibility it may happen.
Yeah. So what's the thing that's holding that back? Like, why hasn't it happened? I mean, I think people have tried to do it lately, right? And so one of the things that is holding it back is when the people don't have access to guns. When the people don't have access, it's very easy for the countries to just totally, whatever country it is, Myanmar right now, it's easy for them to just massacre the people there, right? Because they have very little resistance. But that's just a matter of time. There's more people than them. Okay, so like, I don't know if that's sustainable, but we don't really see it. How come we don't see it in England? That kind of stuff is going on in England. We don't see it in the UK. We saw rumblings of things at some point in the UK, right? But that didn't really become a thing. That never really became a big thing. So, not where it's like, okay, now we're going to take over the whole government. I'm trying to think in my mind, when's the last time we've seen big things like this happen? Maybe in Russia, where one day they just got up and got rid of every single person that was royalty, and they got rid of all their servants and their pets. Anyone that even had the smell of royalty on them, they got rid of them. Or maybe in France, when they were just putting everyone to the guillotine. When does that happen in the modern world, and does it never happen because they've discovered these drugs? Does it never happen because they've figured out how to pacify everyone? Like, hey, we'll feed you, we'll pacify you, and then you'll never...
Think about it like this. So for the past year, they brainwashed people to wear a mask, for example. And it's only going to be 2 weeks, but a year and a half later, most states are still doing it. People are brainwashed. It's everything flows through the media, and unfortunately, the media is a huge part of the control aspect. And that's the problem. We got to get rid of all of that stuff. We got to be able to keep pushing free thought, and everyone has to have that. And that's the biggest thing: staying free and having your own thoughts, being able to say what you want, having that First Amendment right. And the Constitution is not just an American thing; it's a universal thing. It's not just an American thing; it's universal.
Yeah, I think it's based on the right that every man, right, is born with these inalienable rights. And it's, yeah, I agree with you. It's not just for Americans, it's for everyone in the world. Joanna, you were going to say something. What was it?
Yes. So
Hmm.
you brought up, past revolutions and what's the difference between then and now? Something that is different from then and now is how comfortable we are.
Hmm.
We live like kings, like our quality of life, even oppressed, you know,
Hmm.
um, people wearing masks. Guess what? They're not allowed to go out. Guess what? They're still living like kings in their homes, if unless they've been evicted because of rent or anything like that. But uh, most people in America who have been oppressed by things that have been going on during this, pandemic, are actually okay. They're
Hmm.
just
Yep.
happy at home watching Netflix on
Pacified.
their cell phones,
Huh.
pacified. So
Pacified, yeah.
it's not really like, do you want to say what the real drug is? The real drug is this. The real drug is Netflix. The real drug is comfort. The real drug is being able to, use your app to get your everything you need delivered to your door. You want food? Uber Eats, like it's we don't live in an era where we have to work to survive as much. Back in the day, things used to be literally life and death. You're not sure if you're gonna get your next meal. You're gonna, the average lifespan was much less. Life
Yeah.
was just harsh. So
Yeah. The real
it's
drug is
really
everything
easy.
being really cheap or free,
Hmm.
or everyone feeling like they're entitled to things versus people feeling that they have to work and strive towards things. Just to give you like a crazy example, I remember the 80s, right? I grew up in the 80s. To get porno mags and stuff like that, you got to make money. They were expensive. You had to go buy them, go and go to the back of the store and all that kind of stuff. It was a little embarrassing. You got to sneak up there or whatever. Now it's on your phone, like you're saying, Joanna. It's on your phone. So everyone feels like they have the access to that. People don't even go to the movies, which was like a thing back then. There's you didn't go to the movies all the time. Every day now we could be in the movies in our home, and we could have access to these things. And if we have access to it, and we're living more in the matrix or like a virtual world than the real world, we don't realize all the things that we don't actually have. And I guess we're just plugging into some kind of system, right?
Yeah, and that's basically it. I mean, think about all the businesses, actual businesses, physical businesses that have
Mm-hmm.
gone down because of
Mm-hmm.
online businesses.
Mm-hmm.
With Netflix and stuff like that. Think about all the drive-in movie theaters that are all shut down. There's
Mm-hmm.
very few throughout the United States anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, do the people of America fall into the same trap as people do around the world? And I know this is why they're trying to offer like a universal basic income, and they're trying to make it like everyone has the rights to this. But I'm just wondering, like, do Americans have ingrained in them this desire and lust for freedom, and freedom of thought? Is it really there enough that they're gonna push for that, or are we
I
all gonna
think
just
the
fall into the trap?
majority of people have been convinced that communism or allowing themselves to lose their freedoms and get these, whatever you want to call it, whatever this push is for, um, because I mean, I've seen memes from my liberal friends where it's like you wake up and it's Monday, and no, you wake up and you realize you hate Mondays and you have to go to work. It's like, no, then you wake up and you realize it's not that you hate Mondays, it's that you hate capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what is that? No, it's like if you were in a communist state, you would still have to work.
Yeah.
Um, or people, I was talking to a patient of mine who was complaining about how her migraine Botox wasn't being covered anymore by her insurance, which, by the way, is a luxury thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's very expensive. And then she had the gall to tell me, well, if we had universal health care, this will be so much better and everything's going to be covered. It's like, that's not how it works.
Yeah, it's not
You
gonna
still
it's
have to
not gonna be
pay for
better.
things.
Yeah, it's
You still
not.
have to pay for things. Everyone thinks that when this all goes to communism or whatever you want to call it, universal health care and all this stuff, everything is just going to get paid for magically. and they don't realize, no, you still need to, things still need to add up. You still need to, money still exists. Productivity still has to happen. People aren't just going to magically get Botox. Someone still has to pay for it.
Yeah, let me
Honestly,
go ahead.
Thing, so, like back home, for example, healthcare works a little differently. So it automatically comes out of your paycheck. So a little bit comes out of your paycheck and goes towards healthcare. The problem is with this type of healthcare is your wait times are insane.
Now, why
So
are your
type
wait
of
times
surgery-
insane? Why are the wait times insane?
Because it's hard to explain it. Really,
I mean, I think one of the
For
reasons
example-
one of the reasons is, from the way that I see it, right? And I could be wrong, but you lived there a lot longer than I did, right? And I lived in England in the late 70s, and I've been back there lots of times. One of the reasons is if this is a national thing and the government sets the prices for everything, right? The capitalism thing Joanna was just talking about doesn't exist there. There's no incentives for people to build hospitals. The government owns all the hospitals. The government sets what you make if you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, if you do this. There's nothing pushing you. Yeah, there's nothing pushing you like, oh, I'm going to go out there and become a doctor. I'm going to make a ton of money. I'm going to specialize in this and just do this like you have here in America. So therefore, there's not as many hospitals, not as many doctors and nurses and things like that. So everyone has to get on the line.
Yep. It's exactly that. Set prices for everything, set wages for everybody.
Yeah.
And your wait times can be insane. I had one surgery that I had to wait almost a year for. Absolutely just nuts. And so the whole idea of universal healthcare, in one way it works, but it really doesn't, because there's no incentive, just like you said, there's no incentive for these doctors, these nurses, for anyone to want to do it.
And there's no cutting edge medicine being taught in these countries. I've been told that, the medical education is completely different. They get taught more basic and preventative measures, or like up to a certain extent, but they're definitely not going to be learning like the surgeries that we have here, which can be experimental or can be, we go the extra mile for people here. In universal healthcare, you don't go the extra mile for one person. You try to make sure that 100 people have their physical instead, if that makes any sense.
Well, I mean, a good example is for, I went to see the GP. So GP is just a regular doctor, regular office. He said I had one thing. He told me get my butt to the hospital right now, to the ER. Right now you got to go in and get surgery, immediate surgery. I go in there and get the doctor in there who's supposed to be better trained, more qualified, and he sends me home.
Why did he send you home though? What was the reason?
Because they took a blood test and said there was nothing wrong with me.
Okay. Confusion.
That's all they did. That's literally all they did was take a blood test and say there was nothing wrong with me. I ended up having appendicitis. It took almost a year for me to get in and get it taken care of.
Wow, with appendicitis.
Yeah.
So your appendix could have burst at any time and then probably killed you in a short period of time. So you just got lucky that you survived.
I did get lucky. Yep.
Which in systems like that, it's better for you to die off. Right? And for them to get another person off the rolls.
The GP was right, and the higher paid, supposed better doctor was wrong. That you gotta, and don't get me wrong, doctors here are wrong too. Trust me.
Absolutely, 100%.
I get into that too, but there's no incentive for these doctors back home in this kind of universal healthcare.
Yeah,
it works, but it doesn't work.
Yeah. Richard Hughes is trying to get into the dentistry of England. I don't know if we want to get into that, but that's all. I think that's an American myth that everyone in England has bad teeth. I see Richard Hughes.
Isn't that more of a cultural thing? Like we're obsessed with like getting braces. I've had braces twice.
People in America have bad teeth also. I mean, it doesn't matter if the edifice looks good. It might be easier here to make it all look good, right? but it doesn't matter if underneath it's not good. And yeah, I think maybe in other countries they don't care as
A lot of
much.
it comes down to what you put in your body. That's really what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and some people argue this with me, but it doesn't matter how much you brush your teeth. It really doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's been proven in many aspects that fluoride is bad for you at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, there's some arguments there as well, but a lot of it comes down to what you eat and what you drink.
I mean, I would think, you know, and Joanna's probably the closest to being like someone in the medical field of all of the three of us here. But I would think that your teeth do have something to do with your health. And there is a connection, and there's a reason. I don't think brushing your teeth is enough. There is a lot to be said about flossing and stuff like that, right? There's a whole bunch of things, and for sure, one of the things, not just in England, all over the world, not just in America, we eat too much sugar. I know I do, right? We're doing a lot of things we're consuming things that are destructive to us. So I think that's one of the things going on, right? Or you know, we're doing things to keep us going. I think one of the reasons for a lot of sugar is people don't feel like they have the energy, so they're trying to do things to keep going. And a lot of those things you keep, yep, there you go. A lot of those things that we take, it's not good for us. You know, but what do they care at the end, right? It's better to have people off the rolls. If you look at a lot of what's going on here, it's a lot of population control. The thing about Bill Gates that's really dangerous is population control. A lot of these billionaires, why are they spending all their money trying to reduce populations around the world? Why are they trying to do it? What are they worried about? Right? So, and I think this whole thing comes back to the whole issue of health. It's a control thing because to make everyone think, oh, we should give this to you. Then when you believe that, then they control you by that. You know, if you think about it, it's what like people who enslave other people say. And I'm not just talking about slavery in America or in the Caribbean where I'm from. It's like you enslave people and you say, listen, I know what's best for you. I know what's best for you. Let me be in charge of everything for you. You know what? I want you castrated.
Again, it comes back to Kamala. Help has arrived, America. Help has arrived. No, it hasn't.
Yeah.
We help ourselves.
That's the way the system should be. That's the way the system should be, right? That's how people work the best under. We need that pressure. We don't need to have everything, but they're trying to take away pressures to make us feel like we have everything. The thing that a lot of people don't realize, you don't have the same thing those guys do. With healthcare, they took away people being able to, like, you used to be able to pay in America and get a better healthcare, and they're like, now it's like, oh no, Cadillac policies, we're going to tax you. We're going to make that more expensive, and a lot of places dropped those Cadillac policies. But guess who has Cadillac policies? Politicians. They have a completely different healthcare.
The poorer they make you, the more susceptible they make you to the system, the less chance you're going to stand up and revolt back against them.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me get this in here because it's been here for a while and I haven't done it. Smash Time gave us $10. Thank you. Appreciate it. He says, glad I found your show, buddy. Good lighting, solid audio. Okay, I appreciate it. The software, not so much. Not so much. The software today. I will figure out what's going on here. I just need some time to try to figure out why this thing is crashing. And I know people have been suggesting other software to us. And I'm actually going to look into that. And if we have to switch over to another software, so be it. We will do what we have to do. And,
I vouch for StreamYard.
Yes, everyone's saying StreamYard. Yep, StreamYard. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, it works. Don't get me wrong. It has its quirks and its issues, but it works. What are you using? Are you using OBS or whatever? OBS?
No, I'm using Ecamm, but that because I use Mac stuff. So StreamYard, I'm assuming there's a version of StreamYard for Mac, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Are you guys using that, or what's the problems you guys have seen on StreamYard?
I haven't had any issues.
Every now and then you'll have issues with mics and stuff like that, but that's about it. But that happens on any stream.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you're streaming on.
I think you're always going to have issues, man. You're literally bringing in, like for this show, I'm bringing you guys in separately onto my system here, and then I'm putting everything together and then sending that out, and it's the internet, it's this thing, that thing, it could be the computer that may be the problem. It's just so many variables here that play a part that it's really tough. I mean, you could be looking at Fox News and you see them have technical difficulties. So,
yep.
Yeah,
the only thing
the beauty of
have,
live streaming, though.
The beauty of it.
Yeah.
The only issue you would run into, I believe, is that you would have to pay for it because you're limited to how many hours per month on the free version.
Oh, okay. You're limited to a certain thing. Yeah. I mean, I'm paying for this.
You're limited to like 20 hours a month on the free version.
Yeah. 20 hours a month. Yeah. I mean, for this, I'm paying for this. See, it just kicked Scotsman out again. Yeah. For this, I am. I don't even know why it's doing that, man. Let's see if we can get you back in here. I'll kick me out. No one needs to see me. They can see you guys. For this, I pay for this. I do pay for this software. It updates all the time. It could do a lot of things. I think there's something that happened here. Before I switch over to another thing, I just want to figure out if there's something that I did recently that caused it, and if I could fix that, before I switch over, because every time you switch over to a different software, it takes time to figure out, how that software works and all that kind of stuff. Kathleen Music Lover says, so wish we had fiber optics. Yeah. You know what? They put so with all this construction going on, we were talking about the government gave the telecommunication companies a lot of money to put fiber optics and extend it into the countryside. I live in the countryside. They put fiber optics right outside my gate. I can see it from where I'm sitting. So they put the thing there, and here in Florida, you can recognize those things as big. It's a white post, and it has an orange top on it, and when you read it, it says fiber optics on it, right? So now, these folks they haven't connected it. They haven't offered us the fiber optics service. And the reason is, I was talking to someone about this. They said, yeah, well, the government didn't stipulate that they had to turn it on. All they had to do was bury the lines.
Wow.
So there's no reason for them to turn it on. They took the government money, they buried the lines, got a cheap contractor, put the line out there. I was even talking to the guys when they were burying the line. I was like, what is that? I was like, oh, this is fiber optic. I was like, oh, awesome. I'm going to get fiber optic. I don't have to get all these different cell phone plans and go to Babyface's house and have an different internet over there and do this thing and that. Nope. So right now I'm waiting on Starlink. That might be the thing. I don't know if you guys can hear a helicopter. Do you hear that in the background?
I hear a little bit.
Yeah, that is actually a helicopter landing out there. That's the medevac helicopter landing like right in front of my house. Because if someone gets sick around here, there's a landing pad for it, and that's how they evacuate you very quickly into Gainesville. So that's what that. If you hear that, check, you hear it out there? Sounds like a tractor. That's a helicopter. It's probably gonna get louder here, so I'm just warning you people. See, this is what it's like doing a live show.
The beauty of live streaming.
Yeah, this is how it gets.
I don't know what's gonna happen. Yep.
Yeah, this is how it gets really crazy, really crazy. I'll probably see it out there. I can hear it though. It's right over me right now. Let's see.
Girls and Guns says, get to the chopper. Of course, is immediately what I thought of.
Yeah.
Get to the chopper!
Get to the chopper! K&M Arms says, we hear it. Len Holt says, as long as it's not a black helicopter. Yeah. And Kathleen Music Lover says, they're coming for me. So, there you go. Yeah. It's pretty cool that it lands there or whatever. I would like to have a chopper. I would like to have a I want an attack helicopter like Blue Thunder or Airwolf. I want Airwolf actually. That was always. I don't know if you guys are so young. You probably never heard of Airwolf.
No, Airwolf was awesome. Airwolf is one of the best ones out there. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it.
Yeah. Have you seen that? No, you haven't seen Airwolf? You're missing out. You're missing out.
I'm gonna add it to my list.
You're missing.
Yeah, Rolando is not as nerdy as I thought. He's not imparting any of the cool nerdy stuff to you. You know, seriously.
Come on, Airwolf, Knight Rider.
Technically, that is before he was born, so I don't have that excuse. That is during my lifetime. I'll just say that. But that is a little bit. I was literally barely alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a good show. They don't make shows like that anymore. Yeah, Knight Rider was cool. Huh?
I grew up with all that stuff.
Yeah. So one of the things about the UK, like stuff that is old for us here in America, and tell me if I'm wrong, stuff that's old for us here in America is kind of new because in the UK you guys don't see time the same way. So I'll give you an example. I'll be here in America, and the music, let's say it's the 90s, right? We're listening to, if it's 1996, we're listening to a song that just came out 2 weeks ago. But then I would go to England and they're listening to something from the 80s. Am I wrong?
No, I wouldn't say it's quite as drastic anymore, but there's definitely usually about a year or two difference.
Yeah. It's always a little...
Are you sure you weren't listening to the 80s station when you were there?
No, they didn't have... first of all, there isn't... this is one of the things about that. There's not a lot of stations, right? Not the way people believe, right? This is for you, Scotsman.
Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, there's not... there's not as many stations as people believe.
No, there's not.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get good connection out there, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, for a long time, like when I lived in England in the late 70s, I think there were 3. There was BBC One, BBC Two, I think.
There was BBC One, BBC Two.
Was there 3? Maybe 3.
BBC
Maybe
3, Channel 4.
Yeah, it was a handful.
Right when I left, I think there was Channel 5.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
America.
There's not a whole lot on there.
America, 2,000 stations.
No, you can still get satellite TV out there.
Yes, right.
True. They did do satellite TV, but it is not cheap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So is it totally overwhelming when you came here and there was just so many things to watch?
I'm not a big TV guy, honestly. I grew up with it, but I really don't watch a whole lot of TV. I'm more reading books, philosophy, studying, obviously firearms. That's one of my main things. Various other weapon styles, different things like that. But yeah, I'm not a big TV guy. Most of the stuff I watch nowadays is all just YouTube stuff. That's it. I don't really do a whole lot of TV things anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I am like I really, 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 really hate commercials with a vengeance and a passion. So I got one of the backup phones is from Verizon. Actually, a couple of the backup stuff. Probably what we're doing the podcast on tonight is from Verizon. So we got Hulu, like a trial for Hulu. Oh God, I hate it with a vengeance. It's like every single commercial you have to watch on Hulu. It's so annoying, and I had forgotten for a long time. I haven't been looking at anything with commercials in it. And then I'm looking at commercials. So today I was looking at this commercial for a medication that's supposed to keep you from getting AIDS. And you can't skip any of this stuff. It's not like YouTube. You could just skip it. And so it says on there, it's not for women who were assigned female as their gender at birth. I was like, wait, hold on, what did I just hear? So it's a medication, Joanna. I don't know if you know about this, but it's a medication that's supposed to help prevent you from getting AIDS.
Okay. Is it Truvada?
Oh, I can't remember. I cannot remember. That part stuck in my brain because they're like, this was not tested on women who were assigned female as gender at birth. And I was like, what? Wait, what happened? Is this what?
I don't know. That's well, the one I just mentioned, Truvada, is like one of the most common drugs that people who, I mean, my guy friends who are gay, who were promiscuous, used to be on it. So I don't know any females that are on it, so maybe that's why. I don't know. But that sounds like maybe they just didn't do a study.
Right.
I can't imagine why that would be specifically. That's
let me
just a
see.
really
Let me see.
awkward
What's
way of saying women?
yeah? It's like so stupid. Let me see if I could pull that up. What's the name of that drug you're talking about?
Truvada.
Truvada.
Yeah, let me see.
Truvada. Let's see if we could pull that up. Because somewhere in there would be all the things about it. So let's see from the website. I want to see if it has that stupid thing here on the website. I'm just trying to read through this before I share it with you guys, because I don't know if this was the one.
This one doesn't seem to say anything about people who were assigned. Oh my god, I can't even say it.
Yeah.
Women.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and just search not for women who were assigned gender. Assigned gender at birth. I was like, what are these people talking about?
Well, again, it comes down to the whole changing culture, changing how people think, the whole political correctness, and just another way of trying to put people's minds in a place where they shouldn't be.
So let me ask you guys this question: what does cisgender mean?
Cis? Well, I don't think it's a gender. I think cis just means like you're
actually a woman.
Cis just means like your identity or what you identify as aligns with what you were like with the bits. Like if you got a vagina, then you identify as a female.
So maybe that's what they were. Maybe that's what they were talking about in that thing. Maybe that's what they were referring to, in this particular thing that I was looking at. That could be possibly the deal, because I found one called Discovy. Discovy. Hold on, let me see if I can. I don't know if people really care about this, but here, I'll try to share it. So here's this Discovy one. Says barring cisgender women from the Discovy trials was a bad call. So what is this?
Cisgender women just means women. It's just women.
Oh, that's what it means? Oh, yeah, so
Yeah.
this is it. They didn't do this with actual women.
Well, I think the reason why they didn't include women in the study is that those drugs tend to be mostly used by men and mostly used by gay men. You know, so maybe that's why they just didn't do
so Joanna,
study on women.
when you were born, you were assigned your gender at the hospital, just in case. I don't know if you knew how that went down.
I didn't know someone made the decision for me.
Apparently. Wow. Yeah,
I thought they looked down and said, well, she doesn't have a penis, so she's a woman. So
yeah.
I didn't realize that there was an actual thought process involved with that.
And so when they developed this thing, they didn't bother checking that. So really, I mean, why don't they just say this is only for dudes?
That's what the study that was done on men. That's it. Boom.
Yeah. Okay. Somehow my microphone got kicked out. Let me see. Okay, it should be back on now. So if my audio went down, I apologize for that. If my audio went low there for a second, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, there's still things happening here on the software side. So that's cray-cray, right? It's not just me.
Well, my
crazy.
problem is with the science side of it, because my background is like I studied, like a STEM student, so everything was science. So to me, it doesn't matter about the whole identity thing. You can identify as whatever you want. I have a very live and let live kind of mentality. If you want to identify as a woman or a man, whatever, as long as it doesn't affect my life, cool, whatever.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I mean, I don't care either. I don't know about Scotsman, but I don't give a crap. People could identify whatever
I don't care.
nonsense they want. Yeah.
Blair White's, identifies as a woman.
I am a meat popsicle.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter.
I don't care what you identify as. It's when government tries to come in and make it a big deal.
No,
and
it
try
actually
to cause,
bothers me
and try
when
to
you
cause segregation.
when you mess up the science of, like, you can't wokeify science.
Mm-hmm.
You have.
Yeah, that's right overhead right now. Right overhead. I feel like MASH.
Oh, the helicopter?
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. Okay, it's gone.
My main problem is just this. Like, this is a perfect example. This is a scientific study. Why are you kind of making it complicated? There is still, there's two categories. You are born with a PEP or you're born with a vagina. That's not don't overcomplicate it. If the science shows, we did this study on people with penises, then that's it. It doesn't matter, don't wokeify that. It just is what it is. It doesn't matter later on who that person identified as. It's still biologically a, XY. That's it.
It's beating around the bush. Pun, I guess pun intended at this point. But I'm gonna get in so much trouble for that. Oh boy. So anyway, why beat around the bush? If you made a drug for gay men or men who are transgender, right? And you didn't test it on women, and you're now doing an ad for the drug, don't say, this is not for women who were assigned female at birth. Just say, this is not for women.
Well, I know exactly why they're saying that, because if that drug is specifically mostly catered towards men,
they don't want to insult you. They don't want to get sued because they say men, and some of the people don't consider themselves men.
The person who was born a man who became a woman who might still need this drug because they're still a gay former man, therefore they might want to use this drug, and then they're reading an article that says women shouldn't use this drug. They're just worried that person might get confused or offended. That's it.
Yeah. The interesting part of this, and I don't know if anyone's feeling comfortable about this conversation, just let me know. I talk about anything. You guys have no freaking idea. We should still be feeding out to the people. I'm kind of here. Anyway, I don't know if this bothers anyone, but it's the same kind of thing as the conversation with Viagra, right?
What's wrong with Viagra?
Well, they've developed Viagra for dudes, and do you remember this was years ago when Viagra first became a thing, right? This is at least like 10. When did Viagra become a thing? Like 10 years ago? More than that.
More than 10, like 20 years ago.
Say it's probably been at least 15 or 20.
Yeah. So, and then a lot of women were like, wait a second, you guys developed Viagra just for dudes, right? And then you didn't develop anything for women. Now, here's the reason. Men and women are completely different. And this is what they're beating around the bush on with this thing. If they're trying to develop a drug to keep men or reduce the risk of men getting AIDS, you can't necessarily develop the same drug to reduce the risk of women getting AIDS. Completely different things. Like a woman is not just a differently shaped man. This is the problem. My dad always told me this as a kid. He was like, listen, son, a woman is not a differently shaped man. Do not imagine that women are exactly the same as men. They're not. It's completely different creature. It's not a bad thing. It's a beautiful thing. But this is reality hitting, the rubber meeting the road here. So if you want to develop something for women, like Viagra, it's not going to be the same. It's completely different plumbing.
They did the study and they tried Viagra on women,
what did
and
they do?
our bits don't work the same. It's
Yeah.
just science.
Did women all of
Sorry,
a sudden
guys.
get stiffies out of the Viagra? Is that how that?
Well,
I'm
the
just,
study
I'm just,
did say like some women in the study felt some improvement because how the medication works is that it kind of like opens up, it like releases nitric oxide in your blood, and that opens up like the vessels, which gives you a bigger woody or whatever, or prolonged woody.
Yeah.
So women who took it would have blood rushing to their bits, but our bits don't work the same as the other guys.
Now
as,
this brings
you know,
up another
male
question.
bits.
This brings up another question for me, and Rolando might choke me to death next time I see him. So my apologies in advance. What do they call, like, what is a woody for women? I never thought of that.
There's no such
Like, what do
thing.
women say?
I don't.
I'm just curious. I just need to know.
Well, I will be honest. Like, we have these conversations because you know women like to pretend that we don't have the same kind of conversations that men have amongst themselves. But you just say things like, "Well, you're horny," because I feel like women having these conversations is mostly like women being in the mood or whatever is mostly mental.
Yeah. Armory in Access says she said Woody. Yeah, for the ladies, I know there's ladies watching this show. It's not just Joanna here. Joanna, you have nothing that the ladies say, right? Like, or you don't want to tell us because that would be against the sisterhood of the traveling pants. You get in trouble.
It's just, I mean, I don't know if I'm dating myself. Like, do people still say this? Because my friends still say this. They say horny. Okay, that's it.
Okay.
It's a mental thing. To me, it's a mental thing. Aroused there. Puerto Rican Pistolero said it. Aroused is the same thing. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no physical aspect to it.
Yeah. Okay. Is the juice a man or a woman? The juice, you're gonna have to clarify something here before I post this. Well, I don't know. Lola's gonna at some point. Lola's gonna come out here. I'm gonna keep going until I actually get in trouble. You know what's funny? Lola can't complain to me because I'm using her phone to do the broadcast. So she can't complain. She's probably like, right now, this guy, if I can't, she's probably trying, let me see if she's trying to reach me somehow. Yeah, she's probably like, okay, he's not gonna, I want to know, please, do you know, Scotsman, do you know, are you married? You're married, right?
I'm not. No.
You're not married? Okay, you got a girlfriend?
Nope.
Are you into the ladies at all?
Of course I'm into the ladies.
Okay, just checking. Just checking. Just making sure. Just making sure.
Man, you gotta release the accent in order to get. Listen, trust me when I say this. Release the accent next time you go out.
Yeah, bro. If you started doing that in your gun videos, it's over, man. You know, there'll be more than ladies. There'll be more than ladies. You know, America has this obsession with people like with British accent and like, I think everyone has an obsession with something different. You know, somehow different means better. I'm trying to get this. I don't know. Okay, I'm just going to put up the Juice's comment here, and I'll let everyone read it. I'll behave myself. But I'm waiting to see the ladies. Okay, Anna Lee Brown put one up there. I'll throw that up also. Let's see. Oh, okay. The Juice says he's a dude. Juice is a dude. Just FYI, anyone wants to know. 42 chilled said gender neutral. Okay, respect. Respect. And then 42 chill says Lola go kick your ass. Kathleen Music Lover said G's. Oh, is that what it is? I didn't know it was called G's. No, she says G's Hank. Okay. I'm also in trouble with Kathleen Music Lover apparently. And Lola says, what on earth are you guys talking about?
Lola, I'm not responsible. I swear I did not.
I apologize for my part in it. I'm sorry, Lola.
This is stuff that gun guys need to know. I feel like I would really like to know. I mean, I would like to get a little insight on the female mind. You're saying that women are, do you think that when it comes to like talking about this kind of stuff, like when women are with women, are women as bad as we are as guys when we're with dudes talking about this?
100%.
Okay. Is it maybe more? Is it maybe more? In my mind, I imagine it's more. Huh?
Okay, so here's proof that this is true. I don't know how much you know about fan fictions, but it's a huge thing. Like a huge, huge thing. Women write fan fictions. There are Harry Styles fan fiction.
Harry Styles?
Recently. Yeah, it was a Harry Styles fan.
I mean, I know there was wasn't the Gray or whatever. It wasn't.
Yes, that was That was actually a fan fiction. 50 Shades of Grey. That was a fan fiction.
Yeah.
That got
52
so
Shades.
famous
Yeah.
that became, they just basically changed the name of the characters and then switched it up a little bit and then published it as an original work that was not a fan fiction. And then the other one was a Harry Styles one that
Who is Harry Styles?
has 2 movies. What's that?
Who is Harry Styles?
The
I know the name. I don't know who that is. Is that a singer?
He was originally from One Direction.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay.
Hold on, it's on Netflix right now. Both the first movie
Scotsman
and
knows this. Crazy Scotsman, he's a big Harry Styles fan, I'm assuming.
Nope.
We already. He's like, yeah. He's like, bro, we already established that I'm all about metal. Is Harry Styles a metal rocker? I don't think so. Is Harry Styles like? Is he from the UK? Is that a UK dude?
Yeah, he's British.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't assume I know him just because he's British. I got no clue.
But my whole point here was that there are, okay, so I just looked it up. The Harry Styles fan fiction that became a book series and a movie series, a best-selling series and movie. By the way, the movie's terrible. Please do not watch it. Is the After series.
What?
And basically, it's just, this is proof to show you that women are not, oh, we don't talk about this stuff or think about this stuff. There are whole websites dedicated to women writing fantasies about their celebrity of choice and them in sexual situations. So clearly women do think about these things and have these conversations.
Yeah, we're going to call this Freaky Friday. That's it.
There you go.
Yeah, you know what? So, okay, hold on a second. Dan Hates You says, this is now the Who Moved My Dirty Novel podcast. And Puerto Rican Priscilla says it's Friday night. You know, they've done studies. I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to behave myself, maybe. They've done studies, right, to see, like, they've given men and women a sexual stimulus. So they've put stuff in front of guys, and what they've found is that if you're a straight guy and they put gay stuff in front of you, it doesn't do anything for you. If you're a gay guy and they put straight stuff in front of you, it doesn't do anything for you. But if they put the stuff that you're into as a guy in front of you, it stimulates you, right? They found that when they put things in front of women, it didn't matter. It made no difference. If women saw straight, gay, whatever, any kind of craziness, it didn't really matter. They were stimulated by everything that went in front of them. Now, I'm not saying that's absolute. Nothing out there is absolute, but it's one of those things that goes in the direction of, women, I think, are slightly in this particular race that we're talking about, who's the horniest. I would give a little bit of the edge to the ladies out there, but psychological warfare is used against the men, where we get like blamed for, and I know it's like 2 against 1 in this conversation, Joanna, but you're capable of beating us up if you feel like I'm wrong. But psychological warfare is used against us as the guys that we are horrible.
Yeah, but it's always us pushing for it instead of them.
Yeah. Why are you keeping my people down, Joanna? This is the question.
I do not represent the female race in that specific situation. Rolando can tell you who's the perpetrator in our relationship.
Oh, who's the pervert? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying, not all women are like that.
Wait, hold on a second. How did Ro become a perpetrator?
I'm just saying. No, you're saying like
you have to get
men.
You have to get a T-shirt for him now. Says perpetrator.
I'm just saying. Some women are more open about it, but I don't think that's true in the era we live in now. That's definitely not true. I think that women tend to act more like liberated and act more like guys. I'm not saying that's a great thing either. I do believe in, being virtuous if you can, just for health reasons as well, because there's so many STDs out there. If I were young and single again, I would probably become a nun, knowing everything I know about medicine at this point.
Yeah.
So, but I'm just saying, the average woman is not. I don't know if we still say that. We look at you guys as the ones who are, paint you guys badly like that. But I don't think that's actually true.
The guys are the dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
This
think
is
so. I don't
this
think
is
so.
what's been perpetrated against mankind, and we are like men are so sweet and innocent.
I wouldn't call you
You know.
innocent, but I think that there's an equality there in my mind,
Yeah.
at least nowadays.
Yeah. I think guys, we're out here, we're not even trying to think about that kind of stuff, man. We're just out here trying to work, get things done, fix stuff up around the house, take care of the babies and the ladies. No, no, actually no. I couldn't say that really with a straight face for too long. But yeah, it's an interesting conversation, and I think now a lot of things are flipping. Like when my kids were in school, in high school and stuff like that, I found that the girls were more aggressive. Like these days, the girls out there are more aggressive. My sons are nerds, just like me. And it is scary what's out there, man.
Well, this
It,
is one of the reasons I'm actually terrified. We've had this conversation several times, Hank.
mm-hmm,
My fear of having kids.
mm-hmm,
I mean, I've seen the progression in what's happening. I volunteer with kids, like usually tweens,
mm-hmm,
with medical conditions, like a camp. Like I do a medical camp over the summers, and I've been
mm-hmm,
doing that for like the past like 14 years.
mm-hmm,
And I could tell you, I overhear like when there's like
mm-hmm,
downtime in the cabin, I
mm-hmm,
overhear what they're talking about. And 14 years ago, there was no, like me having to get up and be like, inappropriate conversation, guys,
mm-hmm.
for 10 and 11-year-olds and 12-year-olds. The last time I went, I was like, am I hearing this? Like, what am I hearing? So
Mm-hmm.
definitely, in the last decade, things have progressed to the point where I'm like concerned about, like if I had a 12-year-old and had to send her to middle school or something, I would be concerned. Like, I don't want her learning about this stuff and acting on it. I would be terrified to have a kid right now in the
Mm-hmm.
current situation of what is going on and what's normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know. I don't know if we like accidentally or deliberately lost Scotsman there on this camera. Um,
I don't think he liked
can
the conversation.
Yeah. No, I think you're still there, right? Oh no, he might have dropped out. We'll get him back here in a second. I think his camera might have dropped out. We'll see when he comes back. So we're not the only. I'm not the only person having to. Only your side of this is working perfectly. Oh, he's back. He's back. Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Sorry, I
So
was getting more coffee.
yeah. So on the subject of kids, because I know Joanna has heard my spiel before. What do you have any kids?
I do not.
Okay. How do
I've
you feel
worked with
about
kids
kids?
my entire life, though.
Okay. So how do you feel about kids? You into having them? Not into having them?
Yeah, absolutely. Find the right woman, absolutely.
All right. Okay. What's the right woman? Because I want to address what Joanna said too. But so you're saying you're waiting for the right lady
Well,
to come along. What's the right lady?
see, for me, it's kind of hard, and this is generally why it usually doesn't work out for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm too independent. I
Mhm.
like my space. I like my freedom. I like my space,
Mhm.
and so
Yeah, I think
most of
I'm getting a
the
sense. My intuition's telling me you like your space.
right, exactly. So it's tough because I don't do well with living with people. I've tried before. It doesn't go well.
Okay. All right. Well, that's really easy to do. You just it's called a compound. You got to have a compound. Like your wife has. This is her house over here. Then the kids have their house over there, and then
Right?
you got yours. Maybe there's a courtyard in the middle, and every now and then people meet there. Okay, so you're waiting for the right woman. What's the just for the there might be some single ladies out there. What's the criteria for the right woman? I'm curious. I don't know if Joanna, you're probably curious too to know this one. Yeah,
I
hit
don't know.
us.
That's a tough one.
Mhm.
I really don't have a criteria per se.
Mhm. Mhm.
You should start with doesn't hate guns.
Yes, good
Well,
one.
obviously, likes guns. Doesn't care how
Yeah.
many I buy or make.
Yeah, not gonna make you
You know,
melt your guns down to get married.
yeah. I have
Yeah.
had that happen in the past where they said you have too many guns. Nope, there's the door.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's definitely one. I
Mhm.
like them short. I don't like them tall.
Mhm.
I'm kind of tall, so I don't like them tall.
Okay.
Definitely like them short.
Yeah, it's all about all about the short ladies. Man, the tall women out there are probably suffering. I think most guys are into like ladies, like ladies on the shorter side than the taller side. So those poor tall. Every now and then, like maybe some snoo, death by snoo is a good thing. But most of the time, not that a shorter lady can't kill you by snoo either. Joanna doesn't know what that one is either. I could tell. That's a Futurama reference, Joanna.
Didn't watch Futurama.
Yeah, there you go. Boom. Yeah, most of the ladies who come on this show are not nerdy. Okay.
Lola in the chat.
Yeah,
Are we doing the dating game?
I'm just asking some questions here. I'm trying to establish like what it takes for the crazy Scotsman to have some little crazy Scotsman babies running around. That's all. And yes, Puerto Rican Pistolero says nope. Joe wasn't into Futurama, but he loved it apparently. Yeah.
See, I gotta be picky because in my family it tends to run in threes. And what I mean by that is it's always 3 boys. Always.
Okay.
So I gotta be kind of picky because I don't want to, end up with a baby mama and spending money on something I don't need to spend money on.
Oh, okay. Everyone's worried about the baby mama situation. Okay. So you would like to have kids at some point, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's a nice. I like your cup, by the way. That's cool. That's a nice. Here, hold that cup up right there. Is that a Punisher? Hold on, let's take a look at that.
No, this is Frontline Cigars.
Oh, nice. That's badass.
Frontline, they're a good company. He's a veteran. Supports other veteran businesses as well.
Yeah.
Including Justin's Final Mission, stuff like that.
Yeah, very cool. I'm hearing some of the Scottish brogue coming out of there. All right, so listen. So Joanna, here's the thing I want to say to you. First of all, let me ask you, have you looked at Idiocracy yet? Because I know I've said this to you so many times.
I think I have.
You have?
Yes.
I'm going to need certification that you looked at Idiocracy at some point here.
I may not have watched the whole thing, but I did. I think yes.
Come on now. Okay, so listen.
Come on. Even I've watched this, so you need to watch the whole thing.
So do you know what I'm going to say? Do you know what I'm going to talk about?
Of course, I know what you're going to say.
The folks like you and Rolando are good folks. Like Rolando, I don't know if he wants to have kids or anything either. And I'm not trying to make you guys have kids. I think that's everyone's choice, like everything else in the world, right? But, we need the good folks like you and Rolando to have kids, man. We don't need the knuckleheads of the world having babies. And then the good people don't have babies, because this is how the world continues. Children are our time machine. If everyone stopped having babies, there's gonna be no planet.
But then I would feel guilty if I'm having kids to bring them into this crazy world, and then I'm gonna
the world's always been crazy.
Peace out in 20 to 30. Well, actually, I'm too young for that. 50 years.
Come on now.
And then I leave my kids behind in this wasteland.
You see that you gotta raise them right too, though. That's the thing. That's
of course.
What it's all about. That's why again I'm picky too, because I'm gonna raise them a certain way. I don't want them to be raised being a little pussy, running around and freaking going, my feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
Screw that. But then you don't realize how much influence other people have if they go. You'd have to homeschool them. You'd have to limit their social media.
Okay.
Because you could have the most traditional. One of my friends is a Haitian. She's in medicine. She's a Haitian doctor. She's extremely traditional, and one of her gripes is that her 13-year-old kid is super, going through all this stuff because she's super woke and.
Yeah, at 13 you have.
She's like, where did this all come from?
You don't have my permission to be woke at 13 years old. But look, but you just said it. You raise your kids. You limit their access to stuff. That's what I did. I sent my kids to school because I wanted them to socialize. I wanted them to see that people are terrible. I didn't want them to think the whole world was like myself and Lola, right? So I wanted them to go out there and see how messed up other people were, but I gave them the tools I felt like they needed. And if I forgot about something and they came across situations, then I try to get in there and help coach them through that and how to deal with people. I don't really feel like school teaches you, it's like for education, so much as socialization. And Lola and I did everything that we could to teach our kids stuff. I taught my kids how to read on my own. I taught them how to read, and before they ever went to school, they were reading and all that kind of stuff. So, and, for the most part, they're a lot like us, if not more conservative than us. So I think you can easily do that. It doesn't matter what everyone else is in the world. The way that you keep the world from becoming a wasteland is you don't let the idiots out there be the only ones to have kids and continue the generations forward.
That's it. If you don't raise them right and have another generation of great patriots to go ahead and continue on, then we're gonna go downhill.
Yeah. Lola says, I think Scott thought he was going to talk about guns. He's seen this. You've seen this show.
The amount of times I've come in here and it's been nothing but a shit show. Yeah.
In our defense, we made a valiant effort to talk about gun control.
We can definitely. I can come on again. We'll talk about guns. It's always fun. We'll get
Lola says, lots of little Latinos, you didn't rein in the convo. Don't let the dudes run Friday night. See how they're trying to like coalition against us. Yeah, Lola says she feels your pain. And then she says, I'm very strict on my two sons. Yeah, my sons think I'm like their prison warden.
Sometimes that's why you gotta be, though.
Yeah.
If I wasn't raised the way I was, I don't know where I'd be, honestly.
Yeah.
But I was raised by former military, and it was strict, very to the T. This is how it is. And, I'd be the exact same way whenever I have kids.
So when you were a kid, you probably thought it was rough, but now that you're older, that you're an adult, do you look back on that and go, you know what?
Oh, I'm very thankful for the way I was raised. I wasn't raised by my father. I was raised by a gentleman that I worked for. I worked on a farm when I was a kid for many years, and he was former military, and he got me on the straight path. So
cool.
I'm very thankful.
Yeah. Kudos to him, I think that, in time here, I hope, but I'm not trying to push you guys in any direction, that you guys change that. Because I think you guys are great, and I think it would be, it's not as scary as you think. And I know it seems scary, and as someone who is a parent, look, it seemed scary to me before I did it. And then I realized you were born with everything you need. I mean, that gender assignment nonsense they were talking about? You're born with really what you need. And if you're a good person and you're able to find a partner in life, this is like to me, one of the ultimate things that we can do to make the world a better place. A lot of people talk about a lot of different things, and this makes the world better, and that makes the world better. But I think, regardless, you don't have to be. I think you're already making the world better and doing things for kids out there, Joanna. You just said it in the conversation, and then Scotsman just said that someone who was not his dad raised him, and that's what we all, I think, need to do. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be your own biological children. It's always been like this on the planet, that the people who were the good, responsible people stood up and took care of the village and the children around them. So, so here's the thing. I think we got about 8 minutes here. I want to get to, was there something, Scott, that you did want to talk about when you came on?
If we can just take a second and talk about Justice Following Mission. We talked about suicide a little bit earlier in the chat. I work very closely with Justice Following Mission. If you guys don't know what Justice Following Mission is, it is to end 22 a day. So 22 veterans a day take their lives. They came back, they fought wars, they came back, and they are struggling. Justice Following Mission is designed to send them to a retreat to where they can get the help they need in a free, relaxed area, free of any kind of pressure, And so I work with those guys. It is now under what is called Warrior Battalion. So warriorbattalion.com. And I work closely with Troy, who is the founder. We do have a couple of really cool things coming up here pretty soon. There'll be a 3-gun shoot coming up in July, designed to help raise funds for it down in Cincinnati area. Anyone who wants to come to that, they're more than welcome. There's local hotels. There's plenty of people that will give you a ride there. If you need to borrow guns, you can borrow guns, all that kind of stuff. But we are working on restarting the mission up. There was some issues with the previous company, previous 501(c)(3). I can't really go into details too much on that. He still has an ND on that, so can't really say too much there. However, working with Troy, I can tell you right now, like, he is a dedicated person to the point where he's a veteran himself. He's selling his house in order to get this going again. And we have a GoFundMe out there as well to help raise some funds for software, stuff like that. We already paid all the fees for the paperwork. All the paperwork's done. Now it's just getting the software we need to get it going again.
So
do you have the link for the GoFundMe?
Exactly.
Yeah,
thanks, Joanna. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, if you can share that here in the chat, then in our personal chat here, I will share it with the folks. For people who are listening to this, what can they do? What can they look up? How can they help you guys out with this mission?
They can go to Warrior Battalion, and they can reach out to Troy. You guys can email me. You can reach out to me. It's on my About page. You can reach out to me on Instagram. Anything like that, reach out to Troy. Anything we can do right now to come up with ways to help with the fundraisers, anything we can do to spread the word. That's the biggest thing, is spreading the word and getting the word out there. Justice Following Mission is huge. All these guys fought for us. They fought for our freedoms. It's our turn to fight for them. Unfortunately, the government's not doing that job, so we have to.
Yeah, awesome. I am rolling in the GoFundMe page for folks, and I just put it in the chat. So if you guys are looking for that, hopefully, if Lola's listening, if you can put that in the description for me, so I don't forget. If we don't get it in here, what I'll do is once when we get a chance, I'll make sure I get that into the description of the video here. So
I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome, man. I think that's a worthy cause. And it's a shame that he has to sell his home and everything to keep this going.
Yeah, it's when he started it originally over 10 years ago. That's what he did. He sold his homeland too, and he's doing it again.
Okay.
And
for anyone listening out there, GoFundMes are made for dumber things. This is actually a worthy cause. I mean, we had a GoFundMe that made I don't know how many thousands of dollars for the Gorilla Glue girl. So come on, guys. Like,
yeah.
Anybody who's watching this, please have some heart and go even donate $5, and volume will make it happen. So somebody actually sold their house for this cause. The least you can do is give $5.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Every little bit helps. We do all kinds of challenges on YouTube as well. Gorillas and Guns brought that up. We do need to do another challenge. Last one, we did a 2-mile run challenge. Trust me, I almost died. I haven't ran in a long time. But,
so it's not just the fat guys, the skinny. Look at you. You're like a little skinny guy. Come on now, what is this?
So you gotta bear in mind, I got a bad back, I got bad knees.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, he's 37. Hate to break it to you, it gets worse.
I know. Trust me, I've dealt with it for years.
Yeah.
But no, it's about a mile in, I was dying. But I pushed myself and I did the other mile, so we got there. But yeah, we do all kinds of different fun challenges just to help spread the word and get the word out there.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, thanks for doing that. I hope the folks out there listening to this can play some part in this. It's really important to support a lot of these things that are going on out there. I know, sometimes it seems like, hey, there's a lot of things, but as Joanna said, there couldn't be like a better cause than this one, and there are a lot of dumber things that we see out there. So for sure, help out with that. Joanna, was there something? Lola was trying to get me to ask you something. So what did you want to get to before we get out of here? We got some time. We got a little bit of time here. What you got
Nothing
some things
major's
on the
going
line?
on.
Okay.
We actually had an episode of our podcast, which, by the way, is the Locked and Loaded Latinos on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Also live. We had our highest rating show this past Sunday because we had Alex from Control Pew on. So if you guys want to get into hear the basics of how to get into 3D printing, go check out our last week's episode. It was a good time. And we also talked a little bit about the DRM issue with 3D printing. That's about what to do with, like free sharing of files versus like copywriting them and all that. So if you're interested in knowing about that, Alex from Control Pew just put an article up on AmmoLand on it. It's referencing Rob Pincus in the DRM thing.
Yeah, I saw.
He's a 3D printing guy, so
Yeah.
if you're interested in knowing why DRM is bad, you can go check out our podcast from last week and hear about it, or read his article.
Yeah. Yeah, I did skim through that article. I know there's a lot of stuff that came out on this. There's some things that have blown up lately or whatever, and I do think the more important thing in here, over like any particular individual in this, is the actual ability to 3D print and the right of people to manufacture anything for themselves, right? Including firearms. And I think that is the overridingly most important thing that's going on here. And I hope it doesn't get lost in other people's whatever kind of nonsense that goes on in the background. But it is really important. And these things are specifically under attack, whether you realize it or not. In the last couple of days, when you're looking at what the Biden administration is putting out there, what they're putting forward when it comes to the guy they want to put on the ATF, that's just a massive, it's a joke and a tragedy, I think, at the same time, what they're doing with the ATF. And the whole mission of that is to completely destroy the Second Amendment. When someone tells you that we're not here to destroy the Second Amendment, they're here to destroy the Second Amendment. And so if you really look at what's going on there, it's important. And they're specifically going after 80%ers. They want to reclassify what is actually a firearm, what needs to be serialized, all that kind of stuff. And I think this is where the DRM part of it comes in, because they could try to push for everything to have some kind of micro serialization on it. And that's just insane. As a matter of fact, they could probably make it, if they want to, you would have to go through licenses and things like that to get the printers, or the printers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, or the printers
and
would
that
put serial numbers
create
and
a
everything.
registry
Yeah.
Intrinsically, yeah.
Yeah, all of that we need to push back against and be very, very careful that we just don't fall asleep at the wheel when it comes to that stuff. So I think it's definitely important. So I know Gorillas and Guns is saying that your video on you doing the 2 miles was 2 minutes long.
Yeah, I don't like making long videos. For anyone that doesn't know me, I don't like making long videos. I always try and keep them at least under 10 minutes, under 5 at best if I can.
Okay. This is probably your longest video ever. We've been doing 2 hours at this point.
The live streams for me are definitely the longer ones.
Okay.
I do one on Sunday as well. It's 2 hours too. So.
Oh, cool. All right, there you go. Awesome.
But I try to keep them short, and I didn't want to record it and run it at the same time, because I'm just gonna be holding it in my hand, and it's just gonna be really jumpy and funky, and no one needs to see me dying out of breath, and
Yeah. All right, listen, here's what I'm going to do. We hit 9 o'clock. I'm sure these guys have stuff to do. It's Friday. Everyone probably just wants to take it easy, have a good time. And I do really appreciate everyone out there in the audience spending 2 hours with us, including, I know we had some technical difficulties here and we're battling back and forth, but I appreciate everyone doing it. Also, it's great. It's always awesome to have Joanna here, keeping us on the straight and narrow somewhat. You know,
I don't know how much of that I did tonight.
no. You are the bad influence. You're the bad influence. Always talking about.
I won't say that, but I definitely
Yeah.
was truthful about
Yeah.
what
Always
women
trying
get
to
up
encourage us in the direction of Asian musicians. You know, whatever. It's all good.
That is true. That
Yeah,
is true.
yeah. That's your proclivities. It was also great meeting and hanging out for the first time here with the Crazy Scotsman. I hope that you guys go support both of these guys. Go to their like YouTube channel and subscribe there. Follow them on social media. Share their stuff. Help support these guys. It's awesome for me for them to come on and make this such a good show. Here's what I'm going to do here at the end. I am going to start with Joanna and have her tell us how you guys can support Latina Locked and Loaded and Locked and Loaded Latinos. Did I get that? Did I get that
yes,
right?
you got it.
Okay,
You got it.
awesome.
We make it confusing. My social media handle is Latina Locked and Loaded. You'll mostly find me on Instagram. And our podcast is the Locked and Loaded Latinos. You can check us out on Sunday nights. We have a live show. And yeah, just come watch the show at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, let me see if I could throw the thing up. Do you know what you guys are getting into this weekend? Here, I'm going to show the channel once again. This is what it looks like. Puerto Rican Pistolero and Latina Locked and Loaded came together like Voltron to form Locked and Loaded Latinos. I guess that's how we look at it here. You guys know what you're getting into this weekend, this Sunday?
We don't have any guests because we don't like to have guests on every week. We
Okay.
like to have it every couple weeks. So this week we're gonna break down what's going on with Biden and anything else that pops up in gun news. So
Absolutely. All right, so then I'll switch over here to the Crazy Scotsman. Where should the folks go to support you? How can they communicate with you? See all the things that you're up to. What do you have coming up here?
You guys can check me out on Instagram, just under the Crazy Scotsman. You can check me out on Foreign Domestic, which is our Sunday night show. That is also 7 Eastern. And then you guys can also email me if you want to. Again, it's on my About page. You're more than welcome to reach out, email me. I'm happy to talk to folks. I love talking to folks. This is why we do this. We all interact, help each other. As far as things coming up, I do have a Glock video that I will hopefully be doing this week. I was meant to do it this past week, but unfortunately, back problems.
Oh my goodness!
Week,
Seriously, man. I mean, you're a young dude. You're a young dude. What are you doing?
I work in a steel factory, man.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it to you, I guess, right there. No arguments on that one. Okay. You got to take your vitamins. Got to take your vitamins. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
For most people know I don't like Glocks, but I am doing Glock videos, so it will be good. Trust me, I promise you, it will be good.
So, what's your gun of choice? What's your brand of choice?
CZ.
I see. Now the truth comes out at the end of the show. At the end of the show. We miss it. He's one of those. So you wear skinny jeans too, I guess.
I do not wear skinny jeans.
All right.
Do you drink soy lattes?
Yeah. No, I do not.
Sure.
I do.
Yeah. Okay. That'll be interesting. You guys will probably want to tune into that and check that out. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run in the end here in a second, and then I'm going to come back, and someone's going to give us the words of wisdom. Who wants to do that? You want to volunteer?
It's the Great Scotsman's
the
Crazy Scotsman. His first time, so he's got to give the last words.
Yeah, you're gonna have to give us the last words. TPC says he lives in Ohio. The state has worn him down. That there might be some truth to that, actually. Listen, I want to thank Harry's Holsters. Big shout out to Harry's Holsters. Really appreciate them supporting us. You guys go use the code Hank Strange. I hope everyone has a great weekend. I'm gonna run in the end. We're gonna come back, and Crazy Scotsman's gonna hit us with words of wisdom. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us here, hanging out with us, bearing with us. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, smash the thumbs up, ring the bell so you can be notified every time we go live. live. We're going to rip out the audio from this and put it up on iTunes and all your favorite places to get your audio podcast. You can go to hankstrange.com and find the podcast there as well. Anytime you need to get your hands on that, listen to it anywhere that you want to. There's a player and everything in there that you can use. Big shout out to people all around the world. I haven't seen enough people in Scotland. I've seen Ireland. I've seen folks in England there, but I want to see more Scottish people up on there. So I would really, really appreciate that. Big thanks to Joanna Latina, Locked and Loaded, for joining us here, as well as the crazy Scotsman. Scotsman, hit us with your words of wisdom, sir.
I guess I'll leave you with this. No administration is absolute. No administration is absolute.
Dropping
Mic
bombs,
drop.
lyrics,
Stay vigilant and always fight for your rights.
yeah. Oh, I mean, we gotta give a bark for DMX out there. DMX out there, We're out of here. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Stay safe out there. Love you guys. We're out. Peace.